Walmart wouldn't carry certain albums because they're like, there's not enough actual lyrics otherwise here. So
that's not a whole song.
Right.
What are we doing?
Hey, Dirty, better have my money.
I
mean, you could say Trick better have my money, don't you worry.
And it's really the same sentiment, right? Like,
right?
Like, what's the difference? Like, it's pretty negligible. Like, that changes everything.
Patton Oswalt has this whole skit where he was like, the stuff they make me write to get around the words are way worse than the words that if they just said them normally. I won't go into the detail, but it's a great skit about they hire him to like make the language usable.
How do I have an entire desk and not a pen? I'm like, I want to write it down really quick. I'm like, seriously? I found a pen. Patton Oswalt? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Oswalt.
I don't think I have a pen.
A-L-T.
I have many pens. I'm just
not at this
showing
desk.
off. I'm just, it's like whatever.
I was gonna like upstairs.
I'm gonna make it rain pens. What?
I feel like at some point it would be really cool when someone, please not today, but if someone did a podcast and then just like has you pick up a random item in your arm's reach and explain it. Like, I feel like, well,
this is my government ID. I'm not showing you the other side.
If you saw my desk, you would not respect me anymore. If you do, anyway, but.
This is my miniature.
Man,
that's serious.
That started.
You would view me as a different person.
It's just so cluttered. I could literally talk about shit on my desk for a year. Like, what the fuck is this? Oh, and we're not live, so I can still. Oh wait, we are live. Oh my god, I'm not coming anymore. I'm so sorry.
It is okay.
I thought we were prepping still.
No, I kind of snuck it in there.
FTC.
Oh, they're knocking on the door now. The show has been canceled. You all are free next Wednesday, right? Right. Okay. Well, why don't we just jump right in since we're here, and it's been a couple of weeks. So of course I'm rusty because that happens every time. I haven't done this in consecutive weeks. This is the 27th, right? Because I always mess up the date. Okay.
It is the 27th.
It is.
I believe that. Okay.
What?
It is Wednesday, June 27th. This is GameEnthus Podcast, episode 347. I'm one of the hosts here. Aaron Tiny is also joining us.
I am right here, and it is great to be back. Boy, are my arms tired. I got.
I don't think that's a non sequitur. I don't know how we got there. Okay. Slider is back. It's been a while, good buddy. Good to have you back on.
Thanks for having me back.
It's nice to see you too.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
All this handsome has been
share it with
away.
the world. Let everybody see.
I mean, we haven't seen you since
it's been
MagFest like 3 years ago.
It's been a while. Oh no, we went out to dinner when you came for that wedding that one time.
Right.
Yeah, so
Clearly, I didn't get invited to that. How
I wasn't at the wedding.
Neither did I.
I know, right?
Wow, y'all have this close relationship.
Two things. It was a bat mitzvah, and we just figured it out real quick.
My bad. It's a whole other event. Like,
Shalom. I got nothing.
I guess when you're like married to the Lord, maybe is that accurate?
A bat mitzvah and bar mitzvahs are when little Jewish boys and girls get basically confirmed
to be.
Yeah, they become adults.
They become adults. Yes.
In the eyes of the temple.
Which my daughter will be having her bat mitzvah this year.
Oh, congratulations!
Congratulations, that's so cool.
Are you pulling out all the stops?
I am not. My wife and daughter are.
Someone is pulling out all the stops, even if it's not.
Yes.
And it's a big party afterwards.
Yes.
That's really awesome.
Fun party, so
I guess
it should be fun.
My only analogous thing is the Sweet 16 we had 2.5 years ago for the oldest.
It's like, for you,
that's what I was pushing.
You're 18 now. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, for her 18th birthday. I mean, she's a freshman in college. It was like, yay, we sent you a box. Hopefully it gets there on time. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, sorry, we got off on a tangent there. We have a first-time guest this week. We have Lala. Well, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you
Hello.
for joining us. So, for those who are not familiar with you, Lala, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
About myself. Well, I could start with me as a gamer, or as an academic, or as just a lifelong nerd.
All three. I don't know.
Well, so my Twitter and Twitch handles Epic Lala Girl, which seems a little bit over the top, right? Like, you're not just a Lala Girl, you're an Epic Lala Girl. But there's a story behind that, so I have to share it since we're talking about me. I used to do Kung Fu for years, like as a martial art, and my best friend said, "You are just so Lala in everything you do. You're not like aggressive. You're just like, oh, Lala." And so she used to call me Lala Girl. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not just a Lala Girl. I'm an epic Lala Girl. So
Damn right.
That's where I got the epic Lala Girl from. And as far as being a gamer, this kind of dates me, but I started gaming with Atari, Frogger, and Miss Pac-Man.
Which Atari? Which Atari, though? Which one?
The first one.
Okay, just checking.
And
Okay,
I
good.
asked my parents for an Atari because my best friend had one, and you know how it is when you play games at somebody else's house, right? You watch them play because they're actually good, and then they let you take a turn with the controller, and you suck. So you get to play for like, oh, Frogger's dead. Oh, here's the controller back, and then they play for like 28 levels while you just sit there and longing. So I asked my parents for an Atari, and for Christmas I got a computer, and they were like, if you want to play games, you can make them. So
Wow.
that was
Nice.
savage and also brilliant because now I'm a computer science teacher. But I mean, I
Awesome.
still kind of really wanted the Atari.
They knew what they were doing.
I was pretty salty back then about it. Now I'm grateful, but I was pretty salty.
Make your own fun.
So that's me. I play some games, and I teach, and I have kids, and I'm DJ Knight's girlfriend, so I mod for him and do community management stuff. And I get to kind of ride the coattails of a partnered streamer and get to go to cool places without having to be partnered. And with being a fully casual streamer, I have less than 300 followers on Twitch, and I stream like once a year.
I don't even know how many, so that, yep.
I have no followers on Twitch, and I stream zero Zed a year for the Canadian viewers.
And European, so. Yeah.
Yes.
Assuming that's somebody from Europe, I don't know. Well, I do know that Tyrone and actually DJ Knight they're both in the chat, so everybody wave DJ Knight.
Oh, what did
Hi.
I say? Savagery. I'm missing things.
Savagery.
Can I get this chat that you are speaking of on my phone, or what's going on?
It's
Do you have
it's on the
phone?
stream.
Oh, okay. I'm on my tablet, and all I could see are the four faces. Oh, look at that. Nice.
Like if you can go to Twitch on your tablet or your phone through the browser, or also you can install the app. But it might take a while, and it might also be a pain in the tuchus. See, I'm working on that. See how I did that?
Yes.
I do.
I replaced the profanity.
I appreciate
And with
that.
the language of my people.
Yeah.
Wait, tuchus is from a specific language?
It's Yiddish,
It's
which
Yiddish.
is
Yiddish.
yeah.
Well, I hope that wasn't offensive.
It's too late
not
now.
To me. I love it. Great.
I just keep trying. I don't know what to do.
You nailed it.
But Slider, I use something called Restream, so it's on Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer, so it puts everything into one chat. You can see it best on
So
one of the
cool.
streams.
Okay.
That's all I know how to do. I don't know anything else but that. Like that's the coolest thing I know in terms of like streaming something. That's it.
I mean, I think that's enough. That seems like more than enough.
So you mentioned before that you are a professor. I don't know if you want to talk about where you teach or not. That's fine if you don't. But you want to talk about what your experience has been like being in the computer science realm in academia?
Oh, wow. So this has been interesting, right? First of all, probably the most noteworthy thing that I could say to people, and I say this actually all the time to people, I actually dropped out of the program that I am now a professor in. So I have a PhD.
Wow.
When I was an undergrad student, I was taking the classes that I'm now teaching, and they sucked. And I hated them. And
I
then
do
I
this
got
better. Let me get this PhD right. I'll be back.
Exactly. And then I got a job in the industry, and again, I keep dating myself, doing the Y2K changeover. So I was a college junior, and I got this job doing the Y2K changeover, which is like basically, for those of you who don't even know what that means, in the year 2000, everyone thought the world might end. In 1999, we thought when it turned to 2000, the world was going to end. Did it? Oh, darn. This is the afterlife.
I was going to say, was it just...
So for our viewers, just watch Office Space, and the main character had the same job that you did.
Yeah.
You took the specs of the engineers?
It was a terrible, terrible job. So I changed my major from computer science to psychology. And, like, I ended up making less money when I got my psychology degree as a professional with a degree than I did as a student working on the Y2K change, because like people get paid based on supply and demand. There's a whole bunch of people who think, ooh, psychology is interesting, I'm going to get a degree in that. And then you go to get a job and they're like, what the hell can you do? Oh, like, do you do a thing? It's like, I know about people. Do you care about that? And they're like, no.
Would that add a zero? No? Why are you walking away? You know what I mean?
It's like, that's great. You can do customer service if you know about people, which you could do before you went to college. Okay, that's great. So then I went back to school a couple more times, and I got a master's, and then I got another master's in simulation, and then I got a PhD in simulation, and came back to the school that I was teaching in. And honestly, I was kind of like, they probably won't even hire me. But I have the credentials, right? Like, I have this PhD, and it's under the discipline of computer science. So they hired me, and they love me there, and it's just so awesome, because I keep telling people, like, just because something is hard and it sucks doesn't mean if you have a goal, it's not worth still doing. Because, like, the computer science thing, if I had finished and gone on to grad school right afterwards, I wouldn't have had all of those poorly paid years, and I would have been a professor sooner. But on the flip side of that, my journey made it so that I think I'm a much better teacher than I would have been if I had just tried to follow the route of all those other teachers and computer science that I was taking back then.
Yeah, see, my oldest is majoring in computer science now, and it wasn't like she always wanted to do that. It was one of those things where, like, I tell all of them, do something in STEM. Like, I don't care what just do something in STEM. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of it's broader than you think it is, but do something there. You want to get out and be able to get a job and make money and, get out of my house. So that's kind of the goal here of having kids, is to watch them go off and do something,
I'm trying to remember. Dane Cook is the comedian who was like, people say you can't buy happiness, but have you ever seen anyone frown on a jet ski? It's like, you can't do it. You can't frown. If you have money to buy happy things, you're probably going to be more likely happy. Of course, I don't mean to say that you should do something that you despise. But I'm lucky that after I got past the suck of computer science, there's actually a whole lot of really awesome stuff, like virtual reality and augmented reality and artificial intelligence and game development. And these are the things that people aren't thinking of when they're like, these classes suck. It's like taking English or math. You don't take English or math because English and math are fun. You take them because you have to be competent and literate.
It helps to be literate, yeah.
All the English and math majors are like,
for 2.
Well, maybe you think it's fun. I'm sorry. I apologize to the probably 20% of the U.S. college population that I just offended.
Well,
it's because I didn't take English that I didn't articulate that appropriately, and I apologize. I should have taken your degree.
Here's a question, though. I mean, for people, because you do work at a school, I wondered, like, from your vantage point, do you see, like, certain majors, just the numbers sort of dwindling in certain areas because college is, as someone who has a kid in school, it's dumb expensive.
Oh
Like, there's
God.
no money to have somebody go major in like free thought or basket weaving. Like, you got to do something that you can get a job with or something, because it costs too much money for like I'm majoring in, I don't know, WD-40 application. That's not.
No, I mean, it's actually
there were a
weird.
lot of rec majors in my college. I got to throw that out there. Like,
Oh wow.
Like a lot of rec majors.
I think that the government, like when it comes to retention and graduation rates, that they rate like how successful universities are. And we just had a restructuring on my campus and got rid of a bunch of majors for that reason. Now the problem is, though, I feel, and I mean, I don't know that this is actually at all interesting to anyone else, but
it is.
and we can redirect
for
if
it.
it's boring.
No,
But the
not
problem
at all.
is, one of the degrees that we are like minimizing and getting rid of a lot of faculty, philosophy. And I get it. Like, people are like in the movie.
First in the chopping block.
Do you get it?
Yeah. I mean, I get, I get the concept of like,
What does that mean?
what's it, not Jet Li, Bruce Lee, the movie with Brandon Lee in it, The Crow.
Yeah.
And no, it wasn't that one.
The Crow City of Angels?
No, it wasn't The Crow. It was the other movie with Brandon Lee in it.
There was no other movie with Brandon Lee in it.
No, it was the movie with Jason Scott Lee.
Oh yeah, Dragon
Oh.
the Bruce Lee story.
Yes, there we go. Sorry. So in Dragon the Bruce Lee story, and the guy who's playing Bruce Lee, he says, so you get a degree in philosophy so you can think deep thoughts about being unemployed.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
I get that concept, and I think that's how they got to a point where they eliminated our philosophy department. But the truth of the matter is that philosophy is also the foundation for law programs. Many law students major in philosophy. Philosophy is the foundation of logic and analysis and critical thinking. And in fact, much of the theory in computer science evolved from philosophy. So it's actually super frustrating to me that people only look at what can you get a job with, and I mean, I think there should
I'm
be
sorry.
some kind of a balance. I'm not saying that you think that, but I think that the people at my university who made this restructuring happen, who got rid of the content department, that they think that.
But they
and a
probably
lot-
use a bunch of metrics and we're like, yeah, you look at this chart, this shows that we're doing the right thing. Yes, go with that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and their lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get where they're coming from. I just think that they're misdirected, and that makes me sad. But one day I will have the power to not just complain, but actually make them not do the things I don't agree with.
So you're going to be the president of this school or another school then?
Maybe.
Okay.
Although I do
You
really
mentioned
like
goals.
flexible schedule. It's very hard. Like, my schedule as a professor is really awesome. So to be the president of the university is like the opposite. Presidents of universities have to go to the basketball games and, go to Senate hearings and just all kinds of crazy stuff.
The Senate hearings sound like a real drag because you think about what's going on in schools nowadays.
I mean, like they're just all over the place. University presidents, and part of me is like, yes, I want that power, and the other part of me is like, but my ties. Like,
Yeah.
I like to just lay back, have a drink.
Does that cup say Fortnite on it?
It does. I got it.
She brought that. Yeah.
I told you I was pandering. I have a whole bunch of pander type stuff. Look, pander.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
As long as you know.
Wait, are we really doing this now? Okay.
You
I
already
don't-
have a duster behind you, so.
Oh, God, yeah, no, not even that. But
This
I
is
mean,
a low gift card. I am
Dai
also pandering.
Katana on the N64. Who doesn't want to play this game?
This is a Fire
Oh,
TV
wow.
stick remote. We are not
An
sponsored.
unopened World of Warcraft.
Why do you have an unopened copy of World of Warcraft?
Wow.
Is it vanilla?
I don't know.
WoW in there?
Yeah,
that
it's the
seal.
original.
It looks like the time card box.
Oh, no, yeah, that's a thing.
I don't know, 14-day trial on top, yeah. Anyway,
Okay,
Anyway.
one more.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
World
just
of
gonna-
Warcraft needs promo.
Memorex.
I'm just going to throw this out here. I did not end up using my first degree, so Well,
Nice.
not going into the profession of the first degree, so like it happens.
I
It
can
does.
relate to that.
And neither did my siblings. We were all
What were they?
elementary education,
Okay.
and I do IT security with a master's in it.
Wait,
So-
did you do elementary ed ever?
I student taught.
That was part of the
And-
curriculum, man.
Hey,
Doesn't matter.
it counts.
It counts. It still
I
counts.
had a classroom.
Do I have to go in? All right, I'll go in. But okay, I have to. Okay.
I had a classroom. It counts.
Those kids look crazy. Okay.
It's like
But,
you fail if one of the children impales another child. But you passed and you graduated, so good job.
Oh yeah, no. Hey, I got the
Well,
degree.
congratulations.
My sister was psychology. She's now a nurse practitioner, and my brother was marketing, and he works in IT security with me.
I majored in computer science, and I'm a mercenary. But you know,
I was waiting for you to say you build barns. You're Amish.
now that that's out there, there you go.
That's
It's gonna make.
Yeah, I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts, and someone asked me in what, and I said they didn't tell me. It just says Bachelor of Fine Arts.
It's fine. That's all that matters.
I will say when I go for a job interview every once in a while, the guy's like, "I didn't know they did a Bachelor of Sciences in Education." I'm like, "Yes, they do. Here you go," and I throw that out.
People don't know that.
No, they're like they think it should be a BA.
Oh,
so
No,
like
I
think
I
when-
feel like it
oh.
helps though, because we all have these degrees. You think your degree, like your education undergrad, helped you. Like
Oh,
I know
yeah.
the degree doesn't matter as much, the specific degree, but did what you learned help you at all in your life?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like most of the people I work with, I have to treat like they're a fifth grader. So, like,
that's honest.
I'm fine. I mean,
It helped.
and I've told them that to their face. So like, I mean, there's definitely stuff that overlaps. It's just like I don't know. I was gonna be a teacher, and then I wasn't. So hey,
I
I
think the main thing the degree helped with was making me go get a job to pay for the degree.
You see, it's cyclical like that. It's just
well, I mean,
It's cyclical.
I don't know. Like we had
it's
our
called planning, Sliderwave planning.
we called the principal of my high school the president. It was a whole corporate thing, whatever. And he's like, your degree is more just to prove that you can finish something. Like
That's true.
you started and finished it, and that's what your employer is going to look at. You're going to learn a good chunk of what you need to know in the first 6 months you're at your job. Like it's more that hey, you will stick through something and do this. And that's really true. Like
No, it's very true.
my employer definitely wasn't like, he's bringing a lot of learning modalities to this. Great, let's talk about it. No,
You've a lot of fresh ideas for your first day. Do whatever he says.
yeah, they didn't care about that at 3 a.m. in the morning when you're like, is that someone trying to hack in or not? Let's figure it out. So, how do they feel about it? So,
It's interesting. My new job is in the IT department, but I'm not an IT person.
Huh.
So it's the operations of
Yeah.
IT. So it's fun. I think my degree lets me like sneak into any type of situation where they just need, graphics and communications.
Oh, smart.
yeah, I mean, you can't if you try to stack the deck with just all people that know one thought process.
that's not gonna
not
work.
going to help. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, this is a fun one.
I feel like the same thing is true about like a PhD. So like to get a PhD, you have to take classes, right? But you take less classes than you take as an undergrad. To get a bachelor's degree, you take like 40 classes. Like no BS. There's like 120 credit hours to get a bachelor's degree. To get a PhD, you need 60 credit hours, but then you have to basically write a book
Right.
about something. And it's like a lot of people, I don't know the percentages, but a good number of people who start a PhD never finish. And it's because they call them all but dissertation. And the dissertation is like the book that you write at the end. And it's like, nobody cares if you ever finish. Like, at this point, your parents don't even care because you've been in college for your whole darn life.
They've been telling people you're a doctor anyway. Like, she got a doctor, this whatever.
My parents are like, why are you going back to college? Don't you have, like, all these degrees? I'm like, yeah, but this is the top degree. And they're like, why? Get a job. Go to work.
Can you jump over to just go from bachelor's to PhD if you write a book?
You can't. I mean, there are honorary PhDs, but you have to go through the process of the classes too. I don't think any school would give you the degree, except for when they call them, you know, like Oprah has honorary PhDs from like universities, even though she never took a class. Yeah. But you can't get a job based on an honorary PhD.
Yeah, she also doesn't get to call herself a doctor because she has that honorary PhD.
Yeah, that's true. They can be revoked.
But yeah, that's true.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Even after you go through the classes and write the dissertation, I just saw someone got theirs revoked because they did their research for their dissertation, but they lied. Like, they basically made it seem like they had done a lot of statistical analysis, and really they just, like, BS'd the numbers, and then they took that person's degree away. Which, I mean, I imagine that means they also lost their job. Because, like, my job is dependent on having a PhD. You can't be a professor at most universities without a PhD, or they call it a terminal degree. Like, you're in fine arts, so like a terminal degree in fine arts is a Master of Fine Arts, an MFA. So if you have an MFA, you could be a professor. But if I just have a Master's of Computer Science, I can be an instructor, but not a professor. Although people don't usually know that, so they don't know the difference when they talk to you, but they know when they pay you. That's
the rubber hitting the road.
They know when they pay you. Like, degrees in my
on the
department.
0% chance that I decide to get my Master's of Fine Arts, then I can be a professor?
Yeah.
That's called a goal.
An MFA is a terminal degree.
I may just pass at this point.
Let me not think about it at all.
No.
You are in any kind of tech department. So there's also another thing that's kind of weird about universities. And that's why, Aaron, you're so smart to tell your kids to go into STEM, because I can work side by side with someone who works as hard as me and who is as smart as me. But if they have a degree that's not in engineering and they have a degree in like education, or like a friend of mine has a linguistics degree, and they literally make $20,000 less than me, even though we do the same stuff.
Wow.
And contribute the same amount to the students in the campus because of the degree you have. So that's the thing I always tell people, like, when I'm advising them, like, think about, like, look at, like, how much people make, if money matters to you. And then I give them the Dane Cook analogy about jet skis. And I'm like, if it's all the same, then money matters. But if there's something you're passionate about, then pick your passion. But if you're just like, whatever, give me a degree, then I'm going to say, follow the money.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been saying that lately.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing.
And I don't know. I don't know these people. The people who say if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's nonsense. That's fluffy crap. I love
my job, and I still have rough days, and I still have days where I'm like, man, F this. I'm not going to work. I need an excuse not to go to work. Or, okay, I'm going in as little as possible today. Like, I have a 3 o'clock meeting, so I'll go in at 2, and then I'll leave at 5, and people will feel like I was maybe there most of the day.
Right, they didn't see
me
all
this
day,
is being recorded.
Yeah, like, it's okay,
they can see
know.
you.
Yeah.
He's right.
If you had a PhD, you may know this. Oh.
Wait, how does technology
When the light's on, it means it's off, so it's fine.
I turned it off earlier.
All right. That was that was GameEnthus, our other podcast.
Yeah.
If you stayed for the whole thing, you'll get a tassel.
Which side do you move it to?
You'll get credit. Let's throw that.
It won't be transferred.
Right, yes. Only recognizable at one community college in the middle of Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson, Arizona. Slider, you have not been on for quite some time. What have you been up to for the last 8 years?
I think I've been
give
on
us year one.
Year 1. I don't remember. Year
Okay.
2, same thing. 3 through 5, same.
There's a trend
6,
I'm noticing. Okay.
Same. 7, pretty much like 1. And 8, here we are.
All right.
So, is that good?
Yeah. You were right up to speed.
What you bought your daughter for her 7th birthday? No, I'm just joking.
What did I buy her?
I'm joking. I really didn't expect you to know.
I really don't remember.
I can't possibly remember something like that. I have 2 kids, and I was just joking.
Lala, your voice kind of went down a little bit. Did you turn your mic sensitivity down?
I didn't do anything. Is it
There we go.
still...
That's good.
I probably just trailed off because I thought that what I was saying was uninteresting. So I was like,
that's what I do sometimes. Yeah, I was just gonna.
like, yeah, let's just pretend I never started talking.
So I did recently start a new job in the last 2 months.
Okay.
Good stuff.
So that was a rough month and a half or 2 months of no job. So I enjoy going to work every day for as long as they'll let me. So, but something interesting happened where I was calling in to my early morning meetings with my boss.
Makes sense.
For the first 2 weeks, I used the app to call in. I'm not going to use the name of the app because, ironically, at work, I'm the person who's responsible for this app.
We're sponsored by this company, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, the app had a button that said connect, audio connection, it said. So when you're driving, and you're trying to mobily connect, you don't want to start dialing your phone, so I just can hit the audio connection button. Then I got my T-Mobile bill. I will say the word T-Mobile. And I got a $500 phone charge for 4 phone calls to Germany.
4 very expensive phone calls.
Yeah, total. Because the app jumped out of the app and just said, we're going to dial Germany. We're not going to connect you through the app. It didn't say it was dialing with my phone. It said audio connection while I was in the app.
It should make that very specific if it's going to do like some kind of window should pop up. By the way,
yeah, there was no pop-up, but
we have your wallet.
I voiced my concerns, and they will be hopefully putting that in.
Will they be reimbursing you, though? That's my question.
No, they will not.
Oh my god!
No, nobody's reimbursing me.
Now, was this the thing where because you had just started, you were sort of reluctant to say, "Hey, by the way, you owe me $500 for this job I just started"? Like, is that, or just you did?
I was reluctant. So what happened is I just talked to my coworker after work when I found out I got this $500 bill. I was like, "Oh my gosh, don't use the app. You'll get charged all this money if it's if it jumps you out." Unbeknownst to me, they went to my boss's boss and told them what happened.
Wait, this is not available in the App Store, is it?
Oh, yeah. You could get it in the app.
Holy shit. I'm sorry. I have a problem.
I did screenshots on on iOS and Android, and they have recently updated it on the iOS app where there's no longer that. I call it a glitch. They weren't calling it anything, so they didn't.
Oh, it's a feature.
Yeah, that's a bullet point.
I'm surprised that the iOS provisioning let that even go through.
Because they're not getting a cut of that, and we know they don't like that.
Right.
Well, and T-Mobile was more than happy to say, "No, you dialed the number." I'm like, "That's a really long number. I know I didn't dial it while I was driving. I just hit a button inside an app."
And we've all done that, and not even given a second thought as to...
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
So anyway, luckily, I will give T-Mobile a little bit of credit. They did give me a discount on the whole
That's good.
on my last bill, but it wasn't nearly $500. Let's just put it that way.
Did you ever consider tweeting the CEO of T-Mobile? I've heard he's very responsive on social media.
Huh. Interesting.
You know, I think I might try that. I don't know how much it'll help, but
I guess unless you
give it a shot.
Unless you threaten his life, I think it's not much of a risk.
Whoa.
I don't think I want to do that.
I said unless, like, as in don't threaten his life. Like,
that escalated quickly.
Yes, that's been...
Or Sliderwave. He's in prison in Germany.
In Germany. Oh, wow.
Well, they told me, well, had you had the unlimited data plan, I said, I do have the unlimited data
that
plan.
Doesn't make...
It says unlimited everything in the ad. I kept saying, it says unlimited everything. And your ad even says not a penny more. And they just were like, we're not buying it. I'm like, oh, okay. But they were like, well, if you got the international package for $25 more, this won't happen again. I said,
oh, it's not happening again.
I'm not paying $25 more. And 2, this is not going to happen again because I was told there's a local call-in number. So I will do that from now on.
I like that you did.
I will actually call in without the app.
I like that.
Bullet point.
Wow.
So I'm not using the app that was meant to be more convenient for mobile meetings.
Yeah, for joining your meetings. Gotcha.
Did your company know about Skype?
They use Skype, but not for meetings. So, yeah. And I was even saying to the other company, I was like, when I use Skype, I'm fearlessly not knowing that I'm not going to get charged anything. But with yours, it's like, now I'm afraid to hit any button.
So wait, the guy who made this app works with you?
No. It's a humongous company, like ginormous. I don't want to say the name.
Like, I feel like there has to be a lot of precedent for something like this happening.
I mean,
I heard rumblings that this happened to some other people, but I didn't hear if they got reimbursed. So
are they alive? That's the most important question.
Action lawsuit. It's not.
Nah, I think I'm just gonna pay I paid my bill and I'm done. I'm moving forward. However, now every time I get on a phone call, when my boss's boss is on the phone call, they go, now everyone has called in with the local dial number, haven't they? And I know they're just talking right to me. It's getting old. And plus, I paid for the bill, so at some point I'm going to go, look, I paid, so you have no right to keep calling me out on this.
But maybe
if you paid every meeting, you can pick on me.
Maybe other people at your work have had the same problem.
Right.
Maybe they're not just talking to you. Maybe they're talking to the masses of people that they farfignugan over.
Well, yeah, the meetings don't have a lot.
I guess I have a question. Why are you joining a phone call on your personal cell? Why are you joining a work phone call on your personal cell?
I don't get a cell phone for work.
Yeah, they don't give.
Everybody's not you, man.
I'm not.
Everybody doesn't have a cell.
It's just a question of an expectation. That's not what I said. It just seems odd that the expectation is that you would use your own equipment to join this.
Yeah, well,
if that was the issue, I would push back and say, then this should.
Remember, he's been there for 60 days, so
understood.
Sort of slightly nudged back.
I really need to win at this point, so I'm not gonna keep poking the hornet's nest.
I think that's smart, not to.
But
I mean, that's the problem systematic with all business anymore. They expect you to come with your cell phone and do stuff for them on your cell phone, on your plan. Yep. They don't reimburse you for your data plan because they know people have unlimited, and they expect you to have a computer and all of these things accessed from home. They expect you to check your email over the weekends frequently.
They really do.
It's that's just actually, the new normal, I feel like.
Since I work through an agency, it was like a multi-level shoot down. Like, talked to my agency. I said, look, I had to call in earlier than the core hours, so I used this app. Oh, well, it says here in the handbook, we're not responsible.
Oh, they broke out the handbook on you, man?
Yeah, they broke out the handbook.
Chapter 8, paragraph 6, stanza
exactly.
4.
That was it.
Wow.
Then the company was like, yeah, we just don't have, we feel bad. We just don't have a mechanism to pay you back. And then T-Mobile was like, nah, you just called Germany. So our business phone calls. So, that's what we do. So we can't just pay you for your phone calls. We're a phone company. So it was like the trifecta of bad timing, I guess.
Well, DJ Knight
wrong place.
Just put into the chat. He said, when you're in for 60 days, you have to be wary of what you say. But simultaneously, if you say nothing, they expect that behavior moving forward. It's a double-edged sword. It's a very good point.
Yeah.
No, I did. Everybody was aware. That's aware. Good. And I even did the due diligence by contacting the company that made the app and said, in the future, you should really put notifications of this can incur charges. Move the button from that has the call-in numbers from the bottom to the top with a notice. Call this number if you're outside of the country you're calling. I mean, so I gave them a whole bunch of tips that I'm sure will get implemented, and they can thank me for my research and development.
Your reluctant research and development. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Like, I get so sick of this. So, like, back to, like, I'm gonna put my professor hat on for just like 1 minute and be like, the class one of the classes I teach is about user experience and human computer interaction, and the thing is, people keep blaming users for stuff that is the fault of the developer. That is not your fault. That's the fault of the developer. The developer should have had ways to prevent errors like that from happening. And they really, I think it's smart for you to not rock the boat and be extra stressed over $500. It's not worth it. But they theoretically should be responsible for that. And when people do stuff like that, I wish for some lawyer somewhere to start a class action lawsuit so that people become accountable for their actions. And not to say I want like some small indie company to get like totally washed under and destroyed, but if a company is some huge multi-million-dollar company and they're screwing over hundreds of people,
billions.
Yeah, well, and that's even worse. Then they should be held accountable. And there are tons of theories and classes and workshops and things that are supposed to lead people to avoid exactly what you just went through. And so when I hear it happening on such a large scale, it kind of infuriates me. And I'm so sorry that you went through that. And I hope that the world gets better slowly. I mean, I really hope it gets better overnight, but that's not going to happen. But I mean, I think it's really awesome that you gave that feedback because it will help them.
Yeah. And even in the reply that they gave me, they were like, "We apologize this happened to you. We'll send your feedback to the engineers. Good day, sir." I said, "Good day." That's what I said.
I bring the feedback to the engineers. What's wrong with you people?
Wow.
Well, anything happy? Let's flip it like that. That was a bummer. Let's talk about something a little more jovial, a little more happy.
Okay, my roof leaked and I had to pay $12,000 for a new roof.
Wait, I don't think you understand. I don't think that the word jovial means what you think it means.
Yeah, is that mean like totally devastating to the family and the future of the bat mitzvah planning? Is that? Or is that something else? Jovial's a good thing?
It's a good thing. But having a bat mitzvah is a good thing.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Having a daughter who has made it far in the world, right, with so much messed up stuff, and she still likes you and wants to plan things with you, that's awesome. I see all
Yes.
these movies like about like teenagers that like hate their parents. So I'm glad that you are one of the lucky few.
I'm glad she still puts up with me. So
Well,
That's awesome.
I have 3. So the oldest, we're good. The middle, I think, is going to kill us, and then the youngest, I think, will be okay. But we know that now, so yeah.
Like kill you, like physically kill you, or just like drain
just-
you to
Yeah,
death?
like the latter, more like the why, No, they're all great kids. They're all wonderful. They're just 3 very different human beings who, when you go in thinking you know one thing for one, it's like this isn't going to work for this one. Okay, it's like starting fresh. But that's about me. Sorry. So yeah. An Unexpected Roof. That's
Yeah.
yeah, man.
yeah, but it looks really nice. I will say that.
We did it a couple of years ago. It was expected though, but still pricey.
And the foreman brought on the job his baby pit bull, and it was really cute, and we got to play with it. But
Is
I
that
mean,
normal to bring your pit bull? Was it like an emotional support pit bull? Was it?
I know it was just because he's 10 weeks old, and I think he didn't have anybody to watch him. So like the crew just kept hanging around, and people were stopping him, playing with him. He was really cute. His name was Chapo.
Aww.
It's probably still is. His name still is Chapo.
Just
I
Chapo
assume.
or El Chapo?
It's not El Chapo. I
Just
checked
Chapo.
that. It's
Okay,
Chapo.
Okay. There's no tunnels
I
involved
put-
with air conditioning or anything. Okay, gotcha. Did he bring
I don't know
Sean
if
Penn with him? Never mind.
He
Forget
did
it.
not bring. No, he didn't.
He's like, why are you doing this to yourself? All right. I see you saw Jurassic Park. Fallen Kingdom? Is that what the subtitle is?
Yep.
I did.
What did you think of Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom?
Spoiler alert. Spoiler.
I'll do a
I just have seen
non-spoiler
it, so
alert.
it's okay.
There's
Oh, you-
teeth.
Well, I think. Well, I watched Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. What was the last one? Just Jurassic World.
Just Jurassic
Just
World.
Jurassic World.
yeah. The day before I watched Jurassic World.
Oh, okay. So it's fresh.
So then when I went to see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I didn't think it was as good as Jurassic World. Ooh, koalas.
I would agree with you.
do? They should get the DNA of koalas and bring them back into existence.
Wait.
I don't.
Koalas are still in existence. Let's just be very clear on this.
Then they
We
should
haven't-
make a eucalyptus leaf that we can eat.
We haven't
Yeah.
killed koalas yet.
Oh,
I
okay.
made this
I'll get on
I
that.
didn't realize that would totally derail things. I apologize. I'm
No,
gonna
that's
fix it.
fine. That's all good. That's what video brings.
Exactly.
I might start picking my nose.
I
Not just
want
one.
you to finish saying what you think about the. So you thought you didn't like it as much because you watched the first one right before you watched the second. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
and I didn't think it was bad at all. I thought it was very good, and I liked some of the twists in it that I won't say, but
Like when Chris Pratt turns into a raptor, that I did not see
Right.
that coming. I was like,
yeah,
wow.
like every part of him turned into a raptor except his face and his hand, like the fly.
He hit
but
that
reversed.
well. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, it had great effects.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it seems like the well is drying up with the
It
Jurassic
had better
World.
be. Like if they
Yeah.
do another one, just like what?
There's
Oh,
There's
they are
already-
going to do another.
yeah, there's already another one, I believe.
Why?
And there has to be another one now.
But why
I mean-
though?
I mean, they kind of left it like real open ended
They
there.
left it like
Yeah.
well, we can't say, but like
Yeah.
what's the
I mean-
plot gonna be?
I
Well,
don't think you'd be giving things away to say there's a few dinosaurs that are hanging around. Maybe the next plot is they decide to have a bat mitzvah. I don't know.
Oh, the dinosaurs decide to fill in those for the cashiers at Walmart. When it's really busy, so you can get in. And
Yeah,
out of
or
there.
the eaters at Walmart.
You
The-
keep
the
clawing at me.
dinosaurs
All I want to do
come
is buy this milk.
So
It's
what would be your pet dinosaur?
none.
Oh, Blue. Blue would be my pet dinosaur.
Nice.
I love that dinosaur.
Blue is-
Uh-oh. I think
Wait.
I just tweaked Tiny.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to I don't know.
Yeah, you
Like
do.
the Mosasaurus is the swimming dinosaur is awesome. Like
Yeah, but
then it's totally wasted in that movie. Oh, anyway. Oh, anyway.
but to clean the tank of that dinosaur would be a year-long job.
I mean, obviously, we will not keep him for the full length of his life.
Where you could not get life insurance because, yeah. Like,
Because
we
you
know
love
you're
the
going to die,
dinosaur.
so we're denying you.
Like, yeah, like I don't like that. Having a dinosaur seems like a bad idea, no matter what.
Much of that movie seemed like a bad idea. Like,
No, that movie.
Oh, you're so hostile, Aaron.
well, no, I enjoyed it.
Several of those ideas could have worked if dumb people weren't in charge of them. Like,
Well,
just
I think
that whole movie is just dumb people. Like, it's like
Dumb
everyone who
decisions.
survived horror movies. Like, we stopped making 70s horror movies, so now all the characters are like, "Hey, let me run a dinosaur park." If they would just been killed by Jason, we would have had better Jurassic. Like it's just so many dumb. Like, oh, you watch that, it's like
for all the brain dead things they did in the first Jurassic World, it's like they just upped the ante. Like, how much dumber can these people get? And that's
but they also
exactly
don't notice things. Like at one point, the dinosaurs are both like loud, quaking, like, oh, footsteps, blah blah, and then they're also ninjas. Like
carefully.
Suddenly
Well,
they're
yeah,
there.
I don't.
Ninjasaur
would've
coming
spoiled it.
soon from
Yeah.
GameEnthus Games.
yeah, suddenly
I would watch
they're
that.
and you're like what? I don't
I mean,
understand.
it's a turn your brain off movie. That's what you do. You turn your brain off. You enjoy it. That's what it was. We enjoyed it. Food
Yeah.
was good. My wifey took me to a place called iPick, and it's sort of like the Cinebistro thing. They bring you the food and all that stuff. Food was good. You know, it was a thing.
Do you see it in 3D?
No, I don't do the 3D movie stuff. I do
Do
Movie
any of
Pass
you-
half the time anyway.
I feel like I kept wondering, like when we were watching the movie, like I enjoyed it, but I just kept wondering from time to time, is this different in 3D? Like the only thing I remember noticing was different was the actual Jurassic World sign,
That's
and
worth the money.
everything
So you
else
saw
I
it-
was wondering
That's all
if it
they-
was actually different at all.
That's all
Did
they
you
do
see it
is,
in 3D?
We did.
Oh, okay.
But
I get headaches when I do the 3D.
You don't do Movie
so I
Pass?
just-
Movie Pass.
I don't know what Movie Pass
Nope.
is.
Really?
Tiny, do
I
you
don't
know what
do it.
Movie Pass is?
Okay, Movie
I
Pass
do.
is the
I
is the
hear about
service
this every
week.
Every
I like
Service.
paying full price for every
we talked
movie.
a lot about Movie
It's
Pass.
$10 a
People
month,
that know
and you
it's
can
sponsored.
and they send you a debit card that they put money on. You can literally go see a movie every single day for $10 a month.
What?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's great.
if you refer me, do you get a referral bonus? Because you can
I
just
think
send
you
it.
can. I
You
think
can
get
just
a month
slide
free.
into mine or DJ Knight's DMs with the.
Yeah, I'll send a link. That's no worries.
Yeah, I want to see a movie every day for $10 a month.
Yeah.
Right, and
Now-
ride that train until they go out of business
Yeah,
in like
'cause
3 months.
They're burning through $21 to $25 million a month. Because
Right, like those people are not going to be around for much longer.
I'm
Ride
pretty
that
sure
wave.
they will be around because I don't think they make the money on the Movie Pass. They make the money
selling
on
your data.
the kickback from the theater.
They don't get kickbacks from the
They
theater.
don't get- that's
get
the thing.
anything. They're buying
They don't-
regular price
They are
movies.
independent. Yeah, like the
No, but I'm-
AMC.
AMC
the thing
hates
is-
Movie Pass.
That's
I don't know.
why AMC launched their own product to compete with
Which
it.
is $20 a month, but you can see 3 movies a week, including IMAX and the
Right.
all the other crap.
Uh,
You can't do IMAX stuff. It's just regular standard viewing. But
And Regal is back in the Stone Ages, I guess. Like they're not.
well, no,
even
you can use it at Regal.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
It's
I
only
really watch
blocked at like.
movies on a Zoetrope.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't know
debit.
about that one.
What is happening? I
don't
feel like
know.
you just spoke another language.
I don't know what a zoetrope is.
Is that some sort of
Is
old
like
projector?
No, well, it's an early animation.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the thing that goes around in the circle. It's the what was
Yes.
that like Nickelodeon?
Oh, you looked at
Yes.
the little
You
slits in
look
it.
through the sliver and you
Ah.
spin the cylinder, and then you see something move.
Oh, you get one of those when
Yeah.
you sign up for Movie Pass.
Yeah. Oh,
No, You will not get one of those.
You watch Chris Pratt turn into a dinosaur. So
I didn't see that part. I'm gonna go back now.
That was in the non-3D version.
Speaking of not seeing things,
it.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I really liked the part. It's not giving it away because it was in the commercial when they show baby dino raptors.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool.
Who kept making those? There were like 80 of those things. Who was making them?
Dr. Wu.
Let alone keeping track.
Okay,
there's 81. Was it the 82nd one? Check your pockets, people.
If they kept making, where are they?
I want to go on a tangent and ask if anyone else plays Pokemon Go.
Nope.
Yes! Tiny!
I mean, yeah. I have a friend code that I gave out today to people.
I'll find it later.
Yes.
Yep. DJ Knight said he's buying a movie pass now. I guess he couldn't wait for the...
Go for it, man. It's a good deal. You basically...
I'll try it.
I mean, think about how many crappy... Like, I saw, Rampage and, movies that you don't want to pay for.
Rampage,
now you'll go.
Crappy? Oh,
no,
man,
I liked it, but I didn't want to pay for it.
But...
It was cool, but not for my money. It was not for my money.
I did see Baywatch, but it's on HBO now.
I was going to say it's on Hulu. I was going to watch that the other night. I just didn't get a chance to.
I'll let you tell me how that is.
It seems like a dumb comedy. I'm willing to put...
I don't know what the appeal would be for people who don't want to see The Rock without his shirt on, to be honest.
I'm willing to bet there are probably some scantily clad women in that movie.
Yeah, this is Baywatch.
I'm going to throw this out here since...
Pamela Anderson types.
Types.
That whole TV show was based on...
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll check it out for research.
For science. Science. I mean...
there is something, just a tangent, something that I've been doing the last 2 months. I've been binge watching The Incredible Hulk with my cat.
Wait, did you say with your cat?
Yes, with my cat.
Like
Lou Ferrigno?
Lou Ferrigno series, Bill Bixby, The Incredible Hulk.
Purple Slugs.
I used to watch it when I was a little kid. Go on, sorry.
Why?
Aaron?
I don't mean why, I'm questioning it like a bad thing. I'm just wondering, what motivated that?
Well, I watched Thor Ragnarok and I loved the Hulk in it, and I was just I used to love this show when I was a kid, and I just want to get every episode digital and binge watch it. And it's painful. I mean, they're really good episodes, but TV in the 70s was very purposeful and slow and almost the same episode every time. Yeah. In fact, I think there's this actor, Gerald McRaney, from Major Dad. Remember that guy?
The main guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that guy.
He was 11 different characters throughout the series.
They were trying to save some money.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could see a lot of people just being repurposed in different roles. And, when you're a little kid watching this, you didn't notice things like this. You didn't notice that the Hulk, when he was running down the street, had little green booties on his feet so he wouldn't stub his toe.
Little green booties.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
It was that makes him less ferocious, the little green booties.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just a little bit.
Hulk, not stub toe.
But it's funny because, the funny thing is I would just go to my cat, "Hey, Jerry, you want to watch The Incredible Hulk?" And he just runs over like a dog and plops down and we watch The Incredible Hulk.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Cute. I love
And then he
cats,
rubs his
dogs
head
are
on
the
the tap.
Cats that act like dogs, best pet ever.
Yes, he is like a dog that knows how to, not go for a walk.
Yeah.
Why'd you check?
Or demand one. Yeah,
you're like, is he looking?
I heard some scurrying.
Does he know how I really feel? Wow. Anybody see Incredibles 2?
Yes. so good.
I did.
So
I enjoyed
good.
it as well.
I loved it.
I missed the short at the beginning though.
Really?
Yeah, we got
Oh.
there late. Yeah,
It was very good.
Yeah, it
I've
was.
heard.
And odd. Quite odd.
There's one point that you're really, and like it comes back around, but there's just that one point, and like they even know it because they darken the edges of the screen, so like that was okay. Like if you ended it here, I'm not sure how I'd feel about this.
Just kidding. It's not over.
Exactly.
Like, okay. But I thought it was very good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed The Incredibles 2. I don't know.
I feel like there should be a separate stream of nothing but spoilers so we could actually talk about the parts that people don't want spoiled. Because I just want to be like, but that thing! I want to talk about it.
The part where the person found out about the...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I heard, they've been trying to make this for many years, and I heard about them making it, and I was worried, like, is this going to be good? Like, it's like a 99% chance it could be garbage, but no, it was good. It's very good.
Did you make it to the theater in order to see the pre... Like, oh, it took us a while to make this movie with Samuel Jackson and Craig T. Nelson. And
Yeah.
I missed that, too.
Oh, you missed that, too? Okay, yeah, there's a... Like, them in, like, human form. Saying, like, hey, this took us a while, like... Yeah, like, not in character, to make this, and Brad Bird's there and all that kind of stuff. So, like, yeah, they acknowledged that at the beginning of that movie. So...
And Brad Bird used to work on The Simpsons, right?
No idea.
Well, I do know he made one of my all-time favorite cartoons of all time, a single episode on, I believe, Amazing Stories called Family Dog.
Okay.
Look it up. It's like one of the greatest cartoons ever made.
Oh, he worked on Iron Giant. He worked on Ratatouille.
Huh.
He did work on The Simpsons.
Ratatouille was interesting. A little bit slow for the children, but they hung in there, I guess.
He worked on The Critic.
That was a funny show. Jay Sherman.
And King of the Hill.
Stinks.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that cartoon as well. I have that on DVD somewhere.
There's only like 24 episodes, maybe.
I think there's 2 seasons, maybe.
Okay, 2 seasons worth. That's not bad.
I'm not sure.
He consulted.
But it was a
23
spin-off of The Simpsons.
Was it a spinoff?
Yeah.
What character was Jay Sherman?
He was Jay Sherman. They introduced him on The Simpsons.
I thought that crossover episode was after the Critic was
thought, yeah.
But I think it was the producers of The Simpsons or whatever. It's part of it.
We're back
I guess
into
it's
a
not
corner here. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You're in a corner and you're not getting out. That's it. Like, you're done. I mean, this is it.
It was created by the writing partners of Al Jean and Mike Reiss, who had previously worked as writers and showrunners season 3 and 4 on The Simpsons.
Okay.
So yes, the people.
So I was right.
Well, the people who created it.
Well, yeah, some of the same.
The people who created it left The Simpsons and made The Critic. It had like nothing to do with The Simpsons.
Did they get their jobs back when The Critic inevitably was canceled, or no?
I have no idea. I'm not, like.
Well, look it up, man.
Yeah, Mr. Computer.
Anybody watch Luke Cage season 2?
Not myself a computer.
Anybody watch
You're
Luke
not
Cage?
like.
I have not watched. I've not watched any of Luke Cage yet. I need to.
We're on episode 3.
Okay.
I have to watch it. I've watched Luke Cage season 1 like 4 viewings of it. It's that. I mean, I love that series.
It was good. I wish the latter half would have been as good as the first half.
Yes,
but
that is exactly.
Good. I kind of like season 2 more.
Really?
It's not as fresh, but
Yeah.
I feel like it. All these shows, the issue they have is they're 13, 14 episodes. Is inevitably filler. There's always episodes where you're like, y'all could have wrapped it up in like a conversation. But okay,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it went someplace. It was interesting.
But it's so cool how they have it connected with Jessica Jones and
Mhm.
Iron Fist. I mean, to be honest, I
Iron
like
Fist?
the Jessica Jones thing more than anything. Like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, like that crossover to me is great. And I know that I should really like it's not is it Daredevil?
Daredevil.
I don't know why I was so this is gonna make me sound so lame, but I'm so connected to the Ben Affleck Daredevil that it makes me have a hard time with this one. I know it's
You're
lame.
so
I don't know
That
why.
playground scene just melts your heart. Like,
It's just like, and then like because then Elektra was Jennifer Garner back in those movies, and they clearly had chemistry because they got married and subsequently divorced. But there was chemistry for a while.
did they get divorced?
And
Yeah,
also,
they're divorced.
Oh,
I know that made me sad too.
Did you
the
ever see
Daredevil
Elektra
effect
movie?
was
'Cause that
better
was
in the
terrible.
movie than in the TV series, where he could see sound. I wish they added that into the
Yeah.
into the TV series.
Nah, probably the special effects might have just cost too much or something. I don't know.
And then the bad guy
Well-
with Colin Farrell in the movie.
Bullseye, yeah.
Bullseye
yeah.
was perfection. Oh my gosh.
He
as
had
an
fun
evil
doing
guy.
that. That's
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
Yeah.
was so good at that. So I mean, I like Daredevil, but I feel like maybe I'm extra critical of it because of how much I liked the movies, which isn't really fair.
No, it is fair. It's a comparison you can make.
Yeah.
It's like I like the
Oh,
campy
you guys
60s
can
Batman.
excuse me for a sec. I'm gonna hide this.
We can still see you. No, we can't.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
No, you're good. You're good. He's joking.
It's like I felt like that was a picture of a cat that he covered the screen up with. I wonder if that is the notorious cat that watches movies and also cuts cables.
It was a picture of a cat being walked like a dog. So, it all comes full circle.
So Tiny, you also play Pokemon Go,
I do.
and you said you have a Switch because you downloaded Fortnite on your Switch, right?
Yep. I have not played Fortnite on my Switch because I started Fortnite on a PS4 once.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I'm not allowed to ever play it on my Switch apparently.
No,
Oh.
Sony will come and
without
break your
creating a
fingers.
new account or whatever. Like some
Oh, really?
BS. Yeah. This is dumb drama that's happening. But yeah, no. I mean, I hate Pokemon. Me and Aaron went to a show over the weekend, Too Many Games convention, and I played some Pokemon Go there.
Nice.
So it's always go for it.
So have you seen the commercials and stuff for the Let's Play? Is it Pokemon Let's Go? The new Nintendo kind of game that's like a individual game that you can play on the console.
Let's go
Eevee
Eevee,
and
Let's
Let's Go.
Let's go Eevee, yeah.
So yeah,
Exactly.
I saw the E3 stuff for it.
Because I got to play it at E3, and the most amazing thing is I'm distracted by this. Lou Frick. Yeah. But the Pokemon Go thing, you get to play it like the controller is a Pokeball. So
Right.
you hold this Pokeball in your hand and you can control it. And then when
That's
you
how
want
they
to
get
catch a Pokemon, you don't really throw it because you'll break your TV. But you throw it like you're going to throw it. And then you can hear it click when it catches a Pokemon. Oh my gosh.
That's cool.
Okay, this is the most important
I
question,
died
Lala. Is
when
there a
I saw
wrist
that.
strap? Is there a wrist
There
strap?
is. There
Okay.
is. There
I'm
is.
good.
That would be
Okay.
very necessary. Yes. And there is.
Man, that was
Just
close.
if you,
And then you
you
can-
overzealous and you just let it go.
And then you can keep like it works kind of like the Pokewalker did for the DS. You can keep a Pokemon in it, and apparently take it with you.
Really?
And if you shake the the ball while like you're away from the game or whatever, you'll hear the cry of the Pokemon.
Aww.
So yeah, I mean, yes, I'm looking forward to both that and the, let's say, core Pokemon game that they said they're making for next year.
Nice.
So I still enjoy Pokemon. I don't know. I grew up playing Pokemon, so
That's awesome.
it's a game to still play.
So, Tony,
I
did you...
started. So go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lala.
I started going on Pokemon Go walks with DJ again to catch Pokemon because they told me that the first 150 Pokemon that you have in your Pokemon Go account will transfer to the other game. And I was just like, oh my god, why have I not collected them all? I suck. Gotta catch them all. Why do I suck? Why didn't I do that? They told you gotta catch them all. I didn't listen.
I wish I liked Pokemon. I just don't.
It's like my first RPG. That's because you're old.
I want to like it, but I just don't like it.
I'm with you on that one. I just don't like.
No, I mean it is literally my first RPG. Like it's like cool. You go around.
My first RPG was Heroes Quest on the PC. Like
okay, it's not one that wants to. Yeah, it's not one that wants to beat you over the head.
Well, they have hint books.
Yeah, like Heroes Quest was not a nice game to people.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
They remade it.
You recognize, I think you just identify with your captor. I'm going to throw this out there.
Wow. Stockholm Syndrome, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, 1980, I'm very hesitant to be like any RPG made in the 80s. Oh, yeah, no, that's a great game. That's a great era for a role-playing games.
It was for
me. D&D, but that's not a video game. Though.
But like look at the first Final Fantasies, like almost no story and just grind fests because we didn't know better. Like look at Ultima. Like Ultima has some great stuff in it, but also like, hey, do you just want to kill your character instantly? Great, do it.
Sherman hit the Wayback Machine on this one, but remember Oregon Trail?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you see the thing at Target? They made a handheld Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Can you get?
It's like $5 too much.
Yeah, it's a little pricey.
So I've been waiting till it gets that red Target clearance sticker, and then I'm all over it.
They have it. Like you can, if you Google it, you can actually play it online without having to pay for it.
Oh, but I like the design of the handheld controller, the system.
Oh, that's cool.
If you can run a Target, you can have that too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like.
But I will
have it all.
It's just too much money, so I'm just waiting.
What's it like?
For
20
that
or
clearance.
$30?
It's like $25.
I would thought it was $25. Yeah.
If it was $15, I would have already had it. But it's just it's Oregon Trail. At the end of the day, it's Oregon Trail. No matter how cool
no matter how many animals you shoot, you can bring back 100 pounds of meat. I'm like, what did I shoot?
No matter how much dysentery you have, it's still Oregon Trail.
You're still not dehydrated yet. Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like now that you mention it, Fallout Shelter reminds me of Oregon Trail. Like
I never
that.
Played it.
You've never? How can you have never played Fallout Shelter?
I installed it and I went, eh.
That's exactly what I would expect. That's exactly what I'd expect from Aaron. It might be on his Switch right now, and he's never launched it.
It is on the Switch.
It is.
So, right. No, I mean, like on your Switch.
I don't think it would be fun on the Switch, but if you haven't played it, you can't really compare.
Is it a touchscreen thing or just?
It is. So I don't see how you would.
Isn't it touchscreen on the Switch? Or
is
no?
it? Is the Switch touchscreen?
Oh yeah.
It is.
I mean, the Switch is, but I mean, is the game used? Does it use touchscreen?
Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't looked at it, and DJ has a Switch, but I don't play it, so I don't know.
Well, now you know what you have to do.
Yeah, I have to take his Switch.
Yeah.
He's listening to me, but it won't matter. He has to sleep sometimes.
I have a technical Switch question, because all I do is call into the show for tech support. So I was hoping...
Yes, caller?
Can help me.
Yes.
There's a $500 charge. Go ahead.
You have a question?
Yes, my question is, how do I put more memory in the Switch without losing all the games I've already downloaded?
You can copy the folder of saves to an SD card, I believe.
Oh, okay.
You can just copy that over to the new one and throw it right back in, I guess. I think you could copy the content over if memory serves.
Well,
so it's not as convoluted as doing a DS transfer.
I don't think so. Because did I upgrade an SD card? No, I just put one in there. So
I'm wondering if you can move your user content to the internal memory and then just trade out the
You probably
the
can.
SD
I
cards.
think
That's
they did
probably
some, ease of use kind of things like that, so it wasn't as annoying as other things they've done in the past. Send us your SD card.
because I was just looking at that. My 200 gig SD card has like 60 gigs left on it. I was like, what?
That's my weekend project then.
To build a 200 gigabyte SD card.
No, to like put a 200 gigabyte SD card in there and play fearlessly without worrying about space.
Gotcha.
So you guys all have gaming computers. So when do you decide to use the Switch and not the gaming computer?
Oh, well, that could be... You could substitute Switch for any console, too. But I guess it's library, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that. I travel a decent amount, so, like, I'm not always by this machine when I don't want to come downstairs, which is the laziest thing I can say out loud. Like, like, I want to play in bed. Cool. The Switch is...
Yeah, you could just lay down and play Switch. It's just convenient for the lazy game.
I love Splatoon 2. I think that game's great.
I played it twice. Why did I buy this game?
I
don't understand why I own it. Like, I'm like,
I've put tens of hundreds of hours into it.
Wow.
Really?
So.
I've been playing Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus, and
That's
it just puts me in a zone.
Wait a
It's
minute,
so
is Plus
good.
the one on Switch?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
the
I haven't
Switch.
played that. I just played 2.
It's the same, except Plus, I think, lets you play head-to-head with somebody if they have a Switch.
Has that happened to you yet?
Oh,
randomly?
that's cool.
No, I nobody likes to play games in the house except for me, so...
I didn't have any friends in the real world, so I could only bring it to account. Like at conventions, I know, like I run into like 30 or 40 people I know, but in the city I live in, I'm like, who would I actually play with? Like, my friends are lame. It's really mean to say.
Okay, hopefully they're not watching any of this. Like,
If they were watching, they wouldn't be lame anymore.
Ooh.
Cool.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
It has. In fact, I should clip that scene and email it to each and every one of my
Step it up.
friends.
My friends. So.
All right, Tony, you mentioned...
I also...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I also downloaded Shaq-fu, A Legend Reborn.
Hey, I got that game for free.
Nice.
Oh, man, I paid $20.
Well, you had to have bought NBA Playgrounds like when the Switch launched, and that's a bad game.
Yep.
And you got Shaq-fu for free, which also feels kind of like a bad game. And
But
like,
it's not.
Better than the
weirdly-
original. But it's
weirdly,
not.
like
It's repetitive, though. It really...
insensitive
reminds me
to
of-
people. Like,
yeah, it's a little... I mean, even at
The
PAX,
beginning-
I was playing it. Like, this seems kind of like...
the beginning is like super like racially insensitive to a bunch of different types of people that I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
this
is.
is
No, it
super
is.
weird.
It is.
And then he's like icy hot, and I'm like, that didn't resolve
But
anything.
what's funny is there's no general insurance in the game, which I was hoping they would throw that in there too.
Well, maybe it'll be a DLC.
We can only hope.
You could play as the general and save some time.
The general is the win button.
Well, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I know it had like a lot of really cheesy writing, but I think it worked within the game. I don't think it's as insensitive. Had the game come out,
Seemed weird at the beginning.
In a-
Like,
it was weird. I was like, oh, okay. But I think they know they're being insensitive, and
I don't know if that makes it any better though.
but also
No,
like,
Really-
also when they imply like your sensei or whatever, it might be like a pedophile. Like-
what?
Like he's
I don't
making
remember
jokes.
that, man.
So they're making jokes at the beginning, and Shaq's like, I've seen your browser history,
Oh.
and he's talking about him as a kid. I'm like, what? I'm not sure I'm okay with any of this.
Okay, Tyrone is asking in chat, is it a remake? It's not a fighting game. It's a beat 'em up, side-scrolling beat 'em up.
It's a beat 'em up. It's like a Golden Axe kind of clone, along with like a little ghouls and ghost in there for the mix, and it just reminded me of an old Genesis type game that I enjoyed playing with this like, uneasy script that they put in there that just makes you a little uncomfortable.
Cringeworthy, I will put it that way.
But I mean, I thought it was funny, even though it was kind of cringeworthy. I did really think that the sensei had this very stereotypical, weird voice that they put on him for some reason.
The sensei would be someone I would expect to see in an 80s cartoon that today we'd be like, that's not okay.
Exactly.
This is why we changed Mandarin.
Right. Well, there's a lot of reasons we changed Mandarin. And then actually unchanged him, because didn't we find out the Mandarin actually exists in one of like the side story things?
Yeah, it was too late. I was already mad. I don't even care. They already made the list.
You were like, Ben Kingsley, So...
I don't know. I still liked it with all its faults. It just
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play through it at some point. I don't know.
I probably won't. It'll be a game that'll sit on my Switch and probably never get played again. So
just the quotes they had Shaq say. I mean, just the thing I like about it is, the writers are like, we get to make Shaq say stuff.
Yeah. They had fun making that one.
Yeah,
that's for sure. All right, let's take a step back real quick. And Lala, you have mentioned Pokemon Go already. You have Last of Us 2 on here.
Oh yeah,
Are you playing that?
I not yet, because it's as far as I know, it's not out yet.
Why'd I ask you that? I'm thinking of The Last of Us. Yes.
But the funny thing is, I have not played. I actually had a question for you guys, which I don't mean to usurp your podcast, but I was curious about this because I've watched people play The Last of Us, and I've watched through to the end, so I know the story of The Last of Us, and also there are other games like that are kind of narrative based that I've watched, and part of me wonders if I should play them myself, and then I wondered what you guys thought about if you watch people streaming games, if you watch people playing games, do you want to watch people playing those kind of games, or would you rather play them? Because for me, when I get home from working, I'm usually so tired that even though it kind of occurs to me that I might want to play a game like that, it seems a lot easier to just watch someone else play it, and it's a lot cheaper.
Slider, you want to respond first?
About not playing the game, just watching somebody play it? Yeah, I don't subscribe to that. My nephew does. He does that a lot. I asked him, so did you play this game? He goes, no, but I watched somebody on YouTube play it. It was awesome. And I'm like, but you didn't get to experience it firsthand. And he's like, yeah, but, I had fun watching it. But me personally, I like actually playing it because I don't really get a lot of time to play them. And when I do, I want to play the games.
Right.
But I don't think there's anything wrong. I think it's cool that you can go on YouTube and check out the game. I mean, when I was looking to see if I wanted to buy Shaq-fu, I did look and see some of the reviews. And regardless, I was still going to buy it, but I just wanted to see what other people thought. Right. So, I mean, I think it's a great tool, but I couldn't sit for the whole time and watch someone else play the game. It would just remind me of being in the arcade waiting for someone to get off the machine.
Yeah, I could see that.
So.
Makes sense. Tony, how about you?
I try to play as much as I can, but there's too many games. So if I want to be able to at least talk about stuff, I think watching, I don't have a problem. But I guess when I think about most of the people I watch playing on Twitch, I'm watching people play games that are multiplayer or that allow them to make their own stories. So even a Rust or any of that kind of stuff, or Raft I've been watching people play lately. It's not a narrative driven game. Rarely I'll watch people play narrative driven games like The Last of Us, because I do agree with Slider. I think there's a part where you have to make your own choices. Last of Us probably isn't the best example, but Oh my god. Well, use The Walking Dead or the
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. I kept trying to think of that.
Life is Strange. Life is Strange. Like, I could watch someone else play it, but they are not going. They may not make the same decisions that I would make, or for the same reasons. And like, I think that's like a deeply part of it, and that's why like I still haven't seen anything of the Captain Awesome yet, and I hope to play it sometime this week.
It's supposed to be really good.
So for the 2 hours, and then Life is Strange comes out in September. Life is Strange 2, and I still haven't played the prologue episode where Max comes into Before the Storm. So
I
like
none of Before the Storm. I need to get on that.
Before the Storm is really good. Like
it's
surprisingly, like I was not sure I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, and then I played through it and Linux played through it, and I think we both added it to our Game of the Year list last year. And it only finished up at like the last month. So
what system's it on?
I mean everything but Switch. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure you can get it on iOS right now.
Oh wow.
But Life is Strange, and like those are the games that I would have a tough time watching someone play and be like, oh, like yeah, it's cool that that's their story, but that's not going to be
right.
That's not going to be the same story I made. And I think there were even some choices in The Last of Us that you have to look at, and like, why was Joel doing things? And
he was a homicidal maniac.
But what I mean, with his daughter and all the stuff that happened, and then
well, I guess I would answer the question of like for The Last of Us, if you watch somebody play through it, you kind of all the narrative beats. So I guess unless you want to experience them for yourself, you kind of got what you can get out of it. Like when you were watching it, did you feel like, oh man, another like 5 to 10 minute combat section?
Yeah. It was like I was like, I don't want to combat. I just want the narrative. Like, what's gonna happen next? Like, okay, get this over with and get to the next.
Yeah, you probably should not play that game because even I really like that game, but even I like at a certain point I was like, once I saw like bricks on the ground, I was like, oh joy, combat. That's what I want to get to the next story.
I don't know. The Last of Us was weird though. Like,
it was great, but just
I played through that game in two sittings, but there was like
really? Oh my god!
There was like a 6 month gap between the two.
You should
or
watch.
I played up to the part where they get out of Boston, and I'm like, this game, like, it's not comfortable. Like, I'm not okay with some of the like.
Cover your ears, Slider.
Saying that like I don't. It's not like
said play it on easy. Yeah, maybe I will for the next one.
Yeah,
I might
play
just
it on
do
easy.
that.
Like there was stuff, and then like I picked it back up a couple months later, and I just played through it that whole day, and like streamlined the rest of it. Like it was like, whew. It's
intense, man.
And that's the thing. Like you got what happens at the beginning with Joel and his daughter, and then you get introduced to Ellie, and then you get that stuff, and what happens to your friends maybe by the time you get out of Boston. I was like, yeah, this is draining. Like I gotta walk away, and I walked away. I walked away for months, and then I came back, and I literally just steamrolled through the rest of it. I was like, we're gonna see a giraffe. Let's go see a giraffe.
Oh, spoilers, man.
I know, right? Giraffes
and cordyceps don't mix.
So, I mean, DJ, I guess it took me a whole day to play through, I think, the rest of it. So it was probably 12 to 14 hours of play, but it was, whew.
I mean, I feel like it's weird. I don't know how many people are like me, and there's probably, my disclaimer, I'm a mother with a full-time job, and so, like, some games I would like to play, and I honestly just am too exhausted, so I really like that I can watch other people play them. Like, my daughters are 12 and 13, so a lot of the Life is Strange, I watched them play while I was doing other stuff around the house. Like, I didn't play it. Like, I was just like, okay, there's this game. I started playing it, and then they're like, ooh, let me play. And I was like, sweet. Now I can multitask. You play the game, I see what happens, and I can get stuff done around here. And so, like, I really, from the previews that I saw at E3 of The Last of Us 2, I'm really looking forward to that narrative, like, strongly, passionately. But I'm not as much looking forward to playing it as much as I am. Like, I think I already told DJ, like, I think I'm just going to watch you play the game. Like, I want to see the game. I want to know what happens to Ellie and everything. But I don't know that I'm going to have the time and attention span to actually finish playing. And I don't know. It might be a gender thing, because I wonder if there's a lot of people who have that experience, or if it's just me.
I think it's a lot. I mean, I think the popularity of mediums like Twitch, definitely people who just want to watch a game, just watch an experience. Like, for me, the most Twitch I watch is like right now during like games done quickly. That's the most I watch in any like 1 week, because I'm just like glued to it. Like, because I want to see people do things that I will never be able to do ever.
Right.
It's like, wow, they beat Battletoads in 5 minutes.
Right.
Of course, it took them 5, labor years to get there, but whatever, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, it's good to have that choice.
Yeah.
Maybe I will start checking out games without playing them.
Yeah.
It sounds like it might work with my hectic schedule.
It'll free your hands up. You can,
It will.
You can punch somebody in the face while you watch somebody play a game. I couldn't do this 10 years ago. This is multitasking.
More face punching, okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind. I'm sorry.
I have a very punchable looking face, so I see why.
Not to me.
Okay, good.
I haven't once thought about punching your face this entire time.
Yeah. Even when I said punching
And
faces,
I'm
it was
violent.
not your face.
I'm a violent
good.
person.
Okay, well. Are you violent with food?
Tiny's thinking about it, though.
No, I'm
That's
reading
weird.
an article that apparently PUBG Corp dropped the lawsuit against Fortnite.
Yeah, they did.
They
I'm not
need
surprised,
to.
are you?
I'm a little surprised.
They're owned by doesn't like one company own a
They're
piece
both
of
owned
both
by
of them.
the Tencent
Tencent.
owns holdings in both of them.
They're
Yes.
using their engine. I mean, it's not a shock. It's
And
See,
it's
that's
petty, also.
That's-
yes.
see, I don't know. I
Yep.
think that's where you could have probably made an argument that
Extremely petty.
the developments that PUBG put back into the code anyway. If they felt like their work was being used to push Epic forward, that's what they could have made the argument on. So because I mean, essentially, I think the weird thing to look at, and this got brought up on other podcasts, but like, hey, PUBG started making this. They modified the Epic engine and uploaded that back into into one of the splits on the engine code, and then suddenly, after like a weekend of work or whatever, that Epic tells the fun story. There's Fortnite, Battle Royale.
Magically.
Like, oh, weird. How you probably maybe got a heads up or like a helping hand from the code that we did, and that's where like that's incredible. Like, I'm sure there's some kind of reciprocation in their engine agreement, and like there's a whole, but like that's what the courts should have settled out. So, but apparently they're not going to, and it seems like because Tencent is involved with both of them, and that's fine.
A couple of stealthy, worded phone calls. A couple of mean mugs by the water cooler. Like, you know what? We'll drop that lawsuit. It's not that serious.
Well, and I heard some people suggesting that, well, what if Epic then revokes their license?
Can they, though?
I don't know how that works, but I was just
Well,
like,
they
that
cannot renew it when the next upgrade comes out. That is a paid upgrade. They could say, "Yeah, we're not selling you the upgrade." I've seen that happen.
Oh,
In other
really?
instances, not
That
in
would be
games
so
so
bad.
much, but in business, where one business has a problem with another business and they're offering a software service, and they just go, we're just not gonna sell you the next iteration.
And to redevelop something in a new engine would take forever. It's not as easy as it sounds. Like, people are like, oh, just move all the code to Unreal. It's like, no, it's not that easy. That will be a nightmare.
Just use id Tech. It's there. Just grab it off the shelf.
Straight into
Just
Unity. It's
copy and paste. It should work.
Hit the idtech button. Done.
Convert.
Exactly. I see you have
Optimize.
Fruit/Ninja VR on the outline. Is that?
Why did I put that there? Oh, I think it was because I was thinking that you were going to ask me about VR, and so I was thinking what VR game I would talk about. And so I know it sounds super trivial when there's all this really awesome stuff like Doom VR and Fallout VR and everything, but the reason I put Fruit/Ninja VR is because, because my area of research is like VR largely, and one thing I have been finding is that people really have no idea when they try VR if it's good because they don't have any frame of reference except the real world, and so they're like, well, it's like not as good as the real world, and maybe it's better than a regular game. I don't know. So I started showing people Fruit/Ninja, and Fruit/Ninja they also have on like the Wii, and then they have it like on your tablet and your cell phone and all this. So then people really get the idea of like, oh, this is really awesome because instead of just swiping on a little screen, like even at Dave & Buster's, you just swipe the fruit.
It's a big old screen too.
Yeah, but in VR, like you put this VR headset on, and then you hold these controllers. But in the VR headset, your controller looks like a sword. So you're swinging this sword, not swiping a screen. You're swinging this sword all around you to slash fruit.
And you're hitting your 12 and 13-year-olds with it accidentally.
They stay the hell away. But yes, that is very dangerous. I
Accidentally.
have some stories about that. I actually almost got knocked out because I do a lot of exhibits at science museums to like just get people acclimated to VR. And I had a student say to me, I saw your life flash before my eyes because yes, because someone was playing Fruit/Ninja because I thought it was a great freaking idea to have this as a demo in this small space in the science museum, and someone went like that, and like just by like a hair missed just clocking me right in the temple. Like I
thought you were gonna.
I felt it past my head.
Wow.
Like the T-Rex skeleton you accidentally knocked over or something in the
that would be a better story.
Did you all see the video of that? I think it was in Kansas.
I think that happened.
Some kid like took down a statue. It cost like $100,000.
I did see that.
And they caught him on camera, and the museum was like, well, that's $100,000. The family was like, we'll be right back.
Wow. Well, hopefully
I'm just going to go and write a check. I usually write it on the dashboard of my car.
With the engine running, the pen works best that way. The slight jostling loosens the ink.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just thought about that when you mentioned the dinosaur thing falling.
That's awesome.
I played.
Wow, now I feel much better about my story.
I played Fruit Ninja VR on PS4. It was fun, but I don't know. It's just something. I don't know. Maybe I played so much Fruit Ninja because you know what it is. I played Fruit Ninja for the Kinect. Those versions. I mean, Kinect is not. It's very hit or miss. But I felt like they threw more fruit at you. So go figure.
That's funny. So I'm a VR researcher, and I'm actually not the biggest proponent of VR. Like, I actually don't enjoy VR because
that is very ironic.
What you said, Slider, about the kids thing. Like, we have a dog, so I've tripped over our dog in VR because it's like, even you like make this space, right? And then the VR world tells you where your safe space is. But the VR doesn't track your freaking dog or your kids.
No.
And then you have this headset on, and if you're lucky, also headphones, so you can't hear anything or see anything. So I have no idea what the two children and animal in my vicinity are doing. And that leaves me
axe murderer that lives in the neighborhood.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, so yeah, like the idea of VR is like create this sense of immersion, but that's like a paradox, right? It's like the immersion is great, but it's also a little bit scary and maybe even dangerous. So, and I don't say that to like scare people, but like that's how I feel, and that's why I'm always like, well, I don't think everything should just be replaced in the virtual world. I think there's some things that are really good in VR, and it's like for certain use cases, and the rest of the time, the games that we play on flat screens do enough. And it's like, why on earth would you put certain things in VR? Like, people try to put everything in VR because VR is the new thing, and it's like, that's dumb. I don't need my laptop in VR. What are you doing? Why are you spending all this money putting a laptop in VR? I have a laptop. I don't need one in VR. This is dumb, but people do it.
For manufacturing and practicing, assembly line components, putting them together for workers, things like that, more commercial use, VR seems to be a good tool, but in the house, it's just not quite there yet.
I'm reluctant to even really use it, just because my wife isn't really a big fan of it, and then, I don't know, you're not in another world, but you're not available. Like, you really are, you're seeing and hearing things that are keeping you from everything else around you. And also, I can't, because, let me ask you this, though. The whole age thing. The PSVR has this thing like, it's only for kids that are 12 and up. And I know it's a liability thing, but in your studies, have you found anything about eye development that might really be a reason why that is there? Or is it just like a liability thing?
So this is a weird thing. There's some scientists who talk about the way that our brains understand motion and our space. And there's this idea of like a parallax and like how we interpret people's motion, and it happens in our what is that word? Visual cortex. And they think that the development of this happens in young ages. So the development of your motion parallax sensation happens when you're younger. So there's some people who hypothesize that maybe VR for younger kids could theoretically create problems with the way that we interpret motion. However, it is absolutely unethical and hopefully not quite illegal, because there's not exactly laws, but unethical. Like, no one would ever give me permission to do a study at my school that was like, is this going to mess up kids' visual cortex? Like, no one's ever going to give me permission to do that.
Kids, use these virtual boys until you go blind.
Yeah. So it's like, in the long term, I guess we'll have some, like 10 years from now, we'll have some ability to look at like kids who used a lot of VR and see if they have poorer motion sense than people who didn't. But we can't create a study that actually does that. I mean,
can't
maybe
you just go rogue and do one anyway?
I mean, I could.
Can't you just build a virtual kid in VR?
My job and my pay and stuff. Like,
do like a gray market collegiate study.
Like, just take these kids, put them in VR, give them weapons.
It could be your fellow coworkers' kids, the faculty's kids.
Right.
Not your own.
Oh.
Could I invite the guy who cuts my lawn into my house to put the VR on his head to see and take notes?
He might take over.
And hopefully he won't become a super genius.
He's not like a vulnerable participant, so you could do whatever you want to that guy, as long as you don't think it's going to hurt him. Like, there are actually
who could prove that you thought that, though?
You have to tell them.
If only he was some kind of lawn mowing person, like a lawn.
He was a lawnmower man.
I did not get that reference at first. I'm so
no worries. That's a terrible movie. The book, I'm assuming, was better because the movie was.
Oh, Lawnmower Man 2 makes Lawnmower Man 1 look like Gone with the Wind.
Wow. Okay, I'll never watch
Okay.
Won't watch that. Thank you for protecting me. That's 2 hours of my life you just saved. Thank you for that.
That's what I do. Save people's lives.
Hero.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Slider, what
but
games
yeah,
did
I can't do that research, and it's funny because I put my kids in VR, so I mean that is like I do VR research, and I let my kids use VR, but not more than 30 minutes at a time, because while I don't feel particularly afraid, I'm also cautious, So I mean, and I
You're like
know
a
other
Domino's
people.
mom.
What?
You're like a Domino's mom. 30 minutes. That's it.
30 minutes or less. You're done. Go read a book or something. Play outside.
Don't operate heavy machinery.
It's an Atari. Go make a game and then play it.
Right? I've actually been thinking a lot about that. I'm like, why in the hell am I letting my kids play games? I need to make them make games.
Exactly.
I want them to be successful. I need to make them suffer.
Make your own VR.
Make your own VR.
My eye hurts. Good. That means you made something.
Tony Stark made this in a cave.
All right, Slider. What games have you been playing?
So besides Shaq-fu, A Legend Reborn, and
Classic.
Pac-Man Championship Edition
2+.
2+, I have been playing Puyo Tetris for the Switch. I think
So good.
That right? Yeah, it is good. And I just been gravitating toward the Switch lately. When it first came out, I had nothing but dislike for the system, and I even traded it in. But now that I have my second attempt at the Switch, I just see all the good in it, and it's a lovely machine that I just enjoy using. So it's not so much the amount of games that I've been playing, but just the quality experience with the Switch that I really appreciate, and I've been having a lot of fun with. So
that's okay.
I'm sorry. What?
No, I said that's okay. That's good. Fun is good.
And then on the I play a lot of Android games. I've been playing Atari Greatest Hits. For $9.99, you get 100 games, from 2,600 games to arcade Atari games. So I've been playing Centipede like crazy on that. I mean, it's a perfect version of Centipede.
What's the interface like? You just slide your finger over it, or do you?
Yeah, there's a virtual track ball kind of area, and then you just tap to the either side to shoot, and it mimics the experience really well, except for having a physical trackball.
Have you played Warlords on it?
I have.
It works.
And it works, but it's harder to play.
I gotta imagine.
But it's not unplayable.
Okay.
I played Battlezone on it, which is great. What else?
River Raid, please, River Raid.
Yes, I think that's on the Activision bundle.
I would say that's an Activision. Yeah.
Always confusing Activision games with Atari games, because those are the best Atari games. I'm sorry,
but that's the thing. They have not been updating that app, because I have the Activision collection for Android, and it's just stuck in some weird. We're never gonna update this, so it's not gonna work on your new OS.
Huh.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, because it has all the good games like Pitfall and River Raid and Kaboom.
Yeah, Keystone Capers.
Yes.
Was that Atari or was that Activision?
Activision.
It's probably Activision.
I'm almost certain it's Activision.
Yeah, when you remove the Activision games from Atari collection, it gets a little dicey there. It's like, what are we doing here? Okay.
A long time ago, when I was making a game for a CD-ROM for a car company, a safe driving game. The coolest thing is we got to consult with David Crane, who's like Mr. Activision. If you look him up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
A Boy and His Blob.
Boy and His Blob and that kind
of yeah. And then Space Shuttle, which didn't really take off.
No.
He said no.
Nope.
By the way, I just want to go back a few episodes ago where I thought I thought Aaron was gonna just shoot Tiny with laser beams when he just said disparaging things about Mega Man.
Really? Why?
I believe I said I just wasn't the biggest fan of Mega Man. I figured out from the collection.
That's enough. I think that's
I don't think that's really that disparaging on Mega Man.
That is sort of blasphemous. I'm just going to put that out there.
Like, I am looking forward to the Mega Man X collection that's coming out on Switch.
I mean, X is cool, but X isn't the original. It's not the OG.
And understood. Again, I think this just like reflects on me not having a Nintendo until I was like 20 something. So
all I'm saying, Tiny, is watch your back, because I think triggered something that's not going to go away anytime soon.
I saw Aaron this weekend, like in person.
Oh yeah, because he's plotting.
Okay, gotcha. Oh,
This
he's
is chess, not
luring
checkers.
me. Gotcha,
That's
luring
right.
me into like, false sense of security.
It's a long game. I mean, in 12 years, you're going to go, all you're going to hear is Mega Man, and then that's it.
It's all over. Like,
I mean,
never saw it coming.
I don't know. With how things are going, we could probably shorten that time frame. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So,
But I am segueing into, I've been playing Mega Man Collection 1 and 2 on the Switch, and that's been fun.
All right.
That's all.
Tiny, how
See,
about you?
Eric, I love Mega Man. So,
Pandering.
unlike Tiny. who
apparently,
hates
yeah,
Mega-
like he's swearing fealty is what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't. Okay. Like it's been a lot of the usual stuff, so I'm not gonna go into that. But I did have friends over, not this past weekend because we were too many games, so the weekend before. And I was trying to, when people come over the house, like they're coming, we play games. That's part of what people come over to. So I was trying to figure out like what's a fun new game that we could try out with. It was only like 4 or 5 people. So I got Spy Party, and I ended up buying 2 copies of Spy Party. And if you haven't seen this as a game on Steam, it is a 2-player game. One person is the spy trying to complete certain missions inside of it's like a dinner party. And the other person is a sniper outside the window who has to shoot said spy. And so you have to look for
the whole family.
Oh yeah, fun for the whole. I mean, so we essentially split into groups, and like one person, like the tutorial. The worst part about, well, not the worst, but a barrier to entry for Spy Party is the tutorial is like probably like half an hour to 45 minutes long, because it's teaching you all these things like, oh, the spy. One of the tasks I'll have to do is change out the different statues or blah 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 blah. So like we all went through the tutorial together. And then we split into the groups, and like we played that for like 3 or 4 hours. Like people really enjoyed, like, because once you could have multiple people on the sniper station.
Oh my God, Dark's. Oh wow, I'm sorry. He lost my concentration. I'm listening.
It's okay. So once you could have multiple people, like people are trying to observe, like, hey, is this person? Or is this character in the game moving like a AI controlled character, or is this a person? And what are they doing? And there are different tasks they have to. Like it was a great time. Like Spy Party is $25 or whatever on Steam right now.
I need to get this game.
It might actually be cheaper because of the Steam sale. I haven't actually looked.
Ooh, good point.
But it was a ton of fun. So I bought 2 copies. I bought one on my buddy's account as well, so that we could play it and like had a great time.
Wait a minute. So you had to buy it for him? Okay.
Yeah, I had to. Well, it was either that or buy it on a throwaway account. And I figured if I just bought it, I had to buy 2 copies either way. And it ran on like 2 old ass laptops I have in my house. So,
I bought a new laptop.
I saw that you bought a new laptop. I saw that on Twitter. So
Yeah, I even have the keyboard.
Yeah, I saw that.
The keyboard has GameEnthus colors on it too. So look at that. Ooh.
Ooh, that's pretty.
You can change it. It's kind of cool.
So,
You
yeah.
could play such high-res games as Gex.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow, I'm having so many flashbacks right now. Darkstalkers, now Gex. Wait, who played Mario RPG? I swear I cannot find a single person who played Mario RPG.
Really? I love that game.
Oh, thank goodness.
And it's on the
was
SNES
great.
Classic now. Like
I have
it's,
the original over there somewhere.
So, I mean,
At E3, I mentioned that to several people, and they were like, what?
People
on the-
love
like-
that game.
It's on the
I
SNES
was
Classic
100 years old. Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, well, we're
Shadows
showing
of
off
the
here,
Up.
huh?
I don't know, if this is what we're gonna do now, because I have
This what we're doing?
so many
this what we're doing?
4 games right around me, and several of them are boxed, like Rush 2049.
Centipede.
Oh, nice. Ooh, are we showing up?
Mario Kart 64,
Ooh, Moon.
Yes, that is so. Oh my
Master
gosh.
System version.
1996. Maybe?
Oh,
Super
nice.
Smash Brothers.
Oh my gosh. I gotta step my game up.
I mean, if you really want to, because remember, I have over 264 games alone. So,
This is a
your game.
watch
That's bananas.
with the GoldenEye theme on it.
Hey, look, it's Mario Kart without a box. Cruising Exotica.
How we always end up doing this?
Blitz
We're
2000.
not doing it live. We're just showing boxes of crap.
The best
Boxes.
game that no one. Why will they not make?
Wait.
Nintendo needs to make a sequel. Pokemon
Slider.
Snap.
Oh, it's
And then this for some, it's like a grab. It's the closest thing to me. So
Oh, it's
Wizard of Oz.
Yes, okay. That's so
Legend
cool. I've never
Dimensions.
seen that before.
I'm about to this Lowe's gift card. So
Never Wizard of Oz.
Ooh.
Oh, see, you repeated. I already saw that Lowe's card, Aaron. What are you doing?
It's not games, but an original early reprint of
nice.
Star Wars.
Wars comics.
I'm
But I heard they have made video
all
games.
as cluttered as I, except Aaron is not so cluttered because he didn't
Oh,
have
I
that many
just
things
haven't.
around him to
I was gonna
grab.
be like, he has to brief
No,
on the other side of his monitor. Is the problem.
there's a lot of stuff.
I know where-
over here.
Sin and
This
Punishment
basement
for the
looks
N64.
I finally picked that up too.
And the adapter so that I don't have to mess it up.
Nice.
Right, Aaron?
Yes, I got an adapter. It's called the Wonder something. I don't know.
Anyway.
Japanese games for
The
the win.
Oneaters.
All right.
Oh God, the wonders.
So is Spy Party the game that you played?
Yeah, I mean that's. Otherwise, I've been playing Fortnite with coworkers and whatnot.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
And 11-year-olds.
And
My
yeah, and 11. And
My
yeah,
daughters play Fortnite. I'm so proud of them. I
Really?
think they're
I've been suggesting my 12-year-old start. Her sister played Pixel Gun 2. That's their thing. I'm like, you can play Fortnite. Like, we don't play that.
Oh yeah, they didn't really play it until some of their classmates played it, and then they were like, "Wait, we have Fortnite?" I'm like, "Yes, we still have Fortnite." Okay, we're gonna play it because our friends play it. No,
Yeah,
they added their random strange children friends to my friend list.
that's what. Yeah, my buddy has lost his Xbox One account or his Xbox Live account to his son between Overwatch and Fortnite.
Yeah, I gotta make an account.
I got to be careful about that because I don't want to lose. Yeah, Roblox is still popular. If they start playing Roblox on here, I don't know what's going to happen.
But nah, it's anyway. Yeah, Spy Party. I mean, otherwise, it's that kind of stuff. And then we were at too many games, so it's not like I had a lot of time to play games.
Where is or was Too Many Games?
Too Many Games is in Oaks,
Oaks.
Pennsylvania.
It's called the Greater
At the
Philadelphia.
Expo Center.
It's an hour from Philly, right?
Yes. Greater is a true use of the word. But it's a fun show. They had like 12,000 people or whatever show up. And weirdly didn't have to cancel like that other one that was this weekend. And it's always a great show. Like I run a booth. I run the Extra Life booth there. So
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I showed up. Tiny put me to work. Could you hand these out to all the indie
Yes.
devs? I'm like, yes.
Could you talk to actually, let me rephrase this. You're going to talk to all the indie devs. Could you give them these flyers about another show that's going to be here?
So I did. It was fine.
So, yeah. So Mindfair is looking for indie devs. So,
I have the opportunity to go to San Diego Comic-Con if I could scrounge up the plane ticket, but just bought a roof and paid for some R&D for a big tech company, so I don't think I'm going to be able to go.
That sucks.
Well,
Maybe next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Aaron, you got anything else you'd like to add to this?
Yeah. I'll run through a couple things I've been playing. I finished up Yoku's Island Express today. That's the game where you're a small dung beetle, and it's like a platformer, but it's a pinball game. So like most of the game is like separate pinball tables and, well, even like just flippers or platforms stuff for you to just hit the triggers to jump up and down on. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's sort of Metroidvania. Oh, it's on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Maybe PC, not sure.
And what's it called?
Yoku's Island Express. There's a pterodactyl that like does the mail delivery, and he gets kind of like spooked and leaves, and then you're like this dung beetle who now you're delivering the mail, so you deliver mail. But you get new abilities like swim underwater and like use this whiplash thing, this suction thing to pick up snails that explode. It sounds weird, but it's a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it.
And is it a reasonably priced game?
I think it's 20 and under. It might be like 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really fun. I didn't know I was going to finish. I finished it. Great. And it's the kind of thing where the bosses and stuff aren't like really difficult. So it sort of, if you can get past, I'm not good at pinball games, digital pinball games. So I always mess up because my timing is off and I don't get the ball to go right where I want it to. But I got over those humps. So if I can do it, I'm terrible. I'm sure other people can do it as well.
That's cool.
And you know it's brown and sounds like a bell, right? Dung.
I see what you did there. Right, yeah.
No. Poor Tiny.
Lala did not move at all. She was
Lala
just like, nope.
My brain is still, I'm like, dung.
The bell. Dung.
Bell. Dung bell.
It's like me. I was thinking something was going to rhyme,
Ding
but it was the
dong.
sound.
Yeah, he rung the bell and made a dung sound, apparently. Again, why is shaking my head? So
It's late.
But I like you anyway.
Thank you. I like you too.
Write that down. I played some Pode on the Switch, which
I
is
hear that more than you'd think.
Oh, wow. Despite
your behavior, I like you anyway.
This is better than it could be worse. So I'm playing some Pode on the Switch. That's a platform. Well, not platform. It's a puzzle game. What is a platformer? Two little characters. One kind of makes like foliage grow. The other interacts with these crystals, and you solve environmental puzzles. Nothing like new about it and like fresh, but it's fun. And it really is made for two people to play. But I was playing by myself. I was on a work trip, and you can kind of switch between the two of them. But I have to probably get one of the kids to play, so it's a little more fun for two people.
Does it have online multiplayer?
It does not. It does not.
Okay, because I'd say I'd download it if you wanted to play, but
yeah, it's a couch thing.
Oh, okay. How far is the range on the Switch controllers? Because maybe we could get a connection going.
Bluetooth is like what, 30 feet?
Oh, we're like, kind of. I'm
just gonna say this now. No. Just no.
Okay.
You live in Michigan. I'm in Maryland. Maybe not.
No matter.
I appreciate the spirit, though.
Yeah. No matter.
However, if I never moved, we could have done that.
That's true.
No matter how many Pringles antennas you have, it's not gonna work.
Yep.
Another game, Dream Alone platformer. It's like a platformer where like it's raining, and it's kind of monochrome, and it's really dark, and I can barely see it, and it's not fun, and I don't want to play it anymore. I mean, it's just a dark game that you can barely see anything.
Okay.
The controls
I was not expecting that.
The controls are stiff. It's just like, wow, like no.
Did you pay for it?
No, I did not. I got it in for
okay.
I did not.
So you got it free, and it was even not fee worthy.
I'm not putting any more time into that thing. It froze up on me. It's not a good game. I can see what they were trying to do. It needs a lot more polish. Like the whole jar of polish. Like just rub the whole thing on it. Yeah. It needs to be buffed. Anyway, I think the kids and I sort of beat Just Beats and Shapes over the weekend, but I wasn't sure. Like we thought we fought the boss, but then more of the game kept going, which is kind of cool. So it's like an avoidance game where like you just want to avoid. Hey, Lego Batman. You want to avoid like everything on the screen practically. Really fun. Play some Lumines. I'm not really good at it, but I like it.
Yeah, me too. I'm terrible at it, but I like it.
I need to pick that up.
Yeah, I'm not good at it, but I do dig. West of Loathing. I just played that before we started doing the show. That's like a hand-drawn, like all the characters like stick figures. It's on the Switch. It's on Steam as well. It's like an RPG. Very funny though, and it's all it's all written. There's no voiceovers, but for a game to make you laugh out loud and it's all text, they're working with something. Clearly, the writers are pretty good with that one. And I only like the RPG with the turn-based combat, but it's kind of goofy, so I kind of dig that one. What did we play? Kabounce. I played that with the kids. That's like a 4-player split screen. It's like a 3D pinball game where like you want to bounce around and claim different parts of like this huge pinball layout level, and then after you collect all the points, this gate opens up and you rush to it to like deliver your points. And that's sort of how you win. It's interesting. But then you have like offensive moves where you can like do a ground pound and either like claim different pins and elements or attack other players. That's pretty cool. What else? We played a bunch of Towerfall. We love that one. The girls really love Screencheats for some reason. That's the game that harkens back to like GoldenEye, where it's a first-person shooter. Everybody's on one screen. The idea is you can't see anybody, so you need to look at their screen to figure out where they are. I don't know how they got into that. I showed them. I played that game with them like a year or two ago. They were like, okay, whatever. But they rediscovered it when I was away for work, so they're really digging that. And Soccer Slammers, I got that in. I don't understand that game. It's being described as like NBA Jam, like quick pace action sport. It's soccer, but I feel like the game starts and the computer just scores on me until I just lose. I thought my controller was broken. Like, am I playing or is this the demo mode? Like, it's like 15-1. I'm like, oh, I scored once. I guess I did something right. So. And then I started Vampyr. Tanya, you probably should have played this game.
Is that the Castlevania?
So many games.
Oh, I do this every week. I'm nuts.
This
I'm
is Aaron.
Yeah, this is how Aaron rolls.
No, Slider, this is the one from Don't Nod. The people who made Life is Strange.
Which is fantastic. This isn't bad. Right. Yeah, you're a vampire. It's like sort of I don't know, like a 17th or 18th century. No, like 18th, 19th century.
I mean, there's electricity.
There's electricity. You're a vampire, and I haven't gotten that far. I don't know.
I hear that game would be better without the action parts in it.
Yeah, the combat's kind of stiff, but the mechanics of like you want to learn about your victims. Like if you learn, the more you learn about somebody, like the better quality blood they can give you, which is weird. I don't know how learning about them makes their blood any better. But it does.
Sweet
unless you learn that they have a communicable disease, then...
Well, yeah, that's...
Yeah.
It tastes sweeter knowing who they are. I mean, what?
He paid all his bills and now he dies. I don't know. So, yeah. So, the Vampyr is interesting. And
he loves Shaq-fu.
I haven't loaded up Shaq-fu. I played it at PAX, but I did get it because I bought NBA Playground, but I didn't play it yet. So, all right. We got to wrap up.
You'll like it.
Well, this is the end of the show. So shout-outs, plugs. I know we kind of rushed here, but that happens sometimes. So Lala, any shout-outs or plugs or anything that you wanna give?
Shout-outs and plugs. Shout out to Aaron for inviting me on this show. This is the first time I was on a podcast. So thank you for having me, and I hope I didn't monopolize the conversation too much.
That's why you all are here.
Exactly.
And if you want to find me, you can look for me on twitch.tv/epiclalagirl, but you won't find me unless you find that one lucky day a year that I'm streaming. But you will find me tweeting all the time on Twitter at epiclalagirl, and also in DJ Knight's stream most of the time, because I am a loyal follower /mod/girlfriend. He said girlfriend. I could hear him.
Support is important.
Should I have said girlfriend first? Did I fail on that? Oh shit. Oh no, and then I cussed. See, this is the end. I'm done. Good night.
I'm not even sure with the current situation that's even swearing anymore.
Oh,
so.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Let's hope. I wish that I could like automatically just put like a censor bar over my mouth, like a squiggly, like this has censor.
We're working on it.
We need a 5
technology.
second delay. Yeah.
Right. Slider, how about you?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to my mom, who's a big fan of the show, even though she doesn't know about the show or listen to the show.
Impressive.
Or know that I go on this show.
We have
She's
arrived.
a huge fan. But mainly because it's going to be her 80th birthday. So
Oh, okay.
Aww.
Nice.
if she is watching this, then she's going to know I'm going to fly out and surprise her. So
Oh, that's very
hopefully
nice of
she
you.
does not do that. So
And also the bat mitzvah.
yeah, that's the bat mitzvah. Please send money.
Cut right to the chase. Send money. No, seriously.
And I was going to plug my t-shirt website, but it's not ready yet, so I'm not going to do that.
It's on the outline though.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I guess I can't. say
Eventually, tshirtnerd.com, where you can buy nerdy designs by myself, or if you just want something put on a t-shirt, I'll put it on there for you.
Nice.
Okay,
Is it going to be like Teespring, where like if I design a shirt, people can buy it from you and then I'll get a cut?
I haven't gotten that far yet, but I could possibly. I mean, that's in the plans, but not at first. It's just going to be like 4 designs, and you go and pick one of them or not.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's more like, small batch designs. I'm not going to like mass produce anything.
If you
I
DM me,
can-
I'll retweet it also.
Cool. I will. Thank you. That's all for me.
All right.
And thanks for having me on the show. It's
Oh,
always fun.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you guys and girls.
You too.
Hey, it was good to see everyone at Too Many Games. And I'll be at NJ GamerCon in like a week. Oh god, it never ends. The 7th and 8th of July. So hey, if you're gonna be there, or if you're in the area, you should go to New Jersey GamerCon. It'll be in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Otherwise, if you haven't signed up yet for Extra Life, go to extra-life.org and sign up to help your local Children's Miracle Network hospital. There's 170 of them that you can support, so I promise there's one near you. And if you want to join a team, join the Extra Life or the GameEnthus team, extra-life.org/team/GameEnthus. And help us raise money for our local Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
All right.
Aaron.
All right. If Mike was here, he would say donate blood and have your dog spayed or neutered. Shout out to him and Ben, who saw last week for Too Many Games. Shout out to Ben for recommending the Indian barbecue place. Was it Chula?
Yeah, Chula.
It's delicious. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you to the guests. Thank you, Lala. Thank you, Slider, for coming on the show. We do appreciate your time and the chat that we had and seeing you. I guess being live and on camera is like a different thing.
Yeah.
The coolest
now I
thing
know what I
is
look like. This is so weird.
I feel like I got a new friend in Lala, so that's cool. It's worth coming on the show.
Yeah, I'm so happy to meet you guys. This is really awesome. See, 3 more people that I now like more than the people who live near me.
Who are not watching this?
We're not watching.
Savage.
All right, if you want to leave us feedback, podcast at GameEnthus.com, voicemail line 202-573-7686, and I think that's it. I should probably stop or I'll start rambling again. Lord willing, we'll be back next week. Oh no, that's the 4th of July next week. I don't know how that works.
Do you want to record Thursday?
Yeah, let me do a maybe.
Okay.
I have people in town and stuff, so I don't know.
Okay. Hey, if you're bored this week, you should check out Games Done Quick and donate to Doctors Without Borders.
Yes. What are they up to now in terms of funds?
$664,517 raised, and this man is beating Cuphead in 55 minutes, which seems ridiculous.
This is why I watched that. It's amazing.
Wow.
So, yeah. Thank you to DJ Knight for hosting it, because I'm looking at the numbers of people watching it. It's much more than we normally get. So I appreciate that, sir.
Thank you, DJ.
Thank you, DJ.
People
You
can
said you're
see us.
welcome.
So, all right. Well, everybody, I guess this is where it has to end.
You just gotta rip the Band-Aid off.
There's a Band-Aid?
I gotta go take care of the dog that I'm dog sitting. So like, yeah, we should probably.
You're dog sitting?
I am dog sitting.
You failed to mention that. And I've been talking to you for the last 2 hours, and you never mentioned
So my parents are going out to see my brother on the West Coast. So I am dog sitting their dog.
Oh, you're a good son.
I am pretty amazing. I know. So.
Wait, so this Doom stuff is in your parents' house?
Oh no!
Badasses.
This is my house. Their dog.
Oh, okay.
Their dog is at my house.
Don't be so modest. You know your mama loves Doom. Don't even try.
I was like, your parents are the coolest ever.
My parents. Man, okay. See, we did start down a tangent. My parents had a weird thing where like video games were bad, but computers great. So like Doom was fine because it was on a computer. If it had been Mario, would have been a problem.
Wow, that's
Jumping
weird.
on heads, blowing up demons.
Hey. Knowing a computer is going to get you a job. Like, we already had this discussion earlier. So, that was the whole thought process. Knowing computers is going to get you a job. And it did, so I really can't argue with the results. So,
Parents were smart.
The stream
Just
may or may
don't
not
click
be going down.
join audio connection and you'll be fine at your job.
my God.
I know exactly, like, I know exactly the button you're talking about, but, yeah, the problem is I don't pay for my cell phone, so
I've dialed into the international number for any number of telcons, but I guess it was like an 877 or 844 or whatever. Or for you didn't dial it; it just connected you. Yeah, they shaded you, man. That's
weird. So
it was initiation,
You should
really.
start a Patreon.
It was an initiation. That's all it was.
Indiegogo.
I might have to.
So.
Our friend was totally shaded by this company who we will not name. Please send money.
But send money though. We can't give you any specifics, but send money. We ain't gonna tell you nothing. Send that money.
Yes.
Well, I have